you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, happy Wednesday morning and welcome to your midweek edition of Good Morning Fort Sill.
It is middle of the week there. We're halfway through the work week. We do have a great show today, but let's first check out the weather this morning for the PT forecast. Ulysses, how's it looking this morning? I mean, low 40s, right?
Yeah, definitely a chilly one out there. So yeah, we've been dealing with these temperature swings. Yesterday we were in the 50s. Monday morning we were in the 40s. So definitely right now though, definitely quite nippy out there, and that's because we have the calm winds, the clear skies. Temperatures look at that 17 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. So you can tell yesterday we were at 58 degrees at this time at Fort Sill. Sunrise at 7:45. As we look at the next couple of hours, we'll have those temperatures in the lower 40s. Maybe there's a chance we might even briefly dip into the 30s, maybe 39 can't be completely ruled out at this rate. But as we make our way towards sunrise and after sunrise, we'll already start warming things up to right around 50 degrees by 9 a.m. Looking at the almanac though for yesterday, 78 degrees for the high, 43 for the low. And that 43 though actually took place right before the day finished. So it actually happened before 1 a.m. because during savings time, we have it between 1 a.m. and 1 a.m. When we go back to standard time, temperatures are recorded between midnight and midnight. So that's something to keep in mind. So at 12:54, that was recorded at 43 degrees. Right now, clear skies in our Duncan Regional Hospital Tower Cam in Duncan. And as we go throughout the day, we'll have mostly sunny skies. Temperatures making their way up to 80 degrees. We'll have winds mainly out of a southerly direction at around 10 to 15 miles an hour this afternoon.
Well, Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin recently made a trip to New York to visit the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. The senator spoke with cadets from the Sooner State.
Each year, Senator Mullin has the privilege of nominating Oklahoma candidates for appointments to 4 of the 5 U.S. military academies. The 5th Service Academy, the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, does not require a congressional nomination for appointment.
Now, Mullin spoke about his experiences at West Point, saying, quote, "The cadets at West Point are the future of this nation, and it was an honor to spend the day with them on campus. They will face monumental challenges in the ever-changing national security landscape, but I am confident that the elite education and training they will receive at West Point will more than prepare them to tackle those challenges head on." Well, as the government shutdown enters its 4th week, the financial strain is being felt by government employees who don't know when their next paycheck will come.
Luckily, local nonprofits are stepping up to help. The Lawton Food Bank is hosting another food drive today, specifically for those unpaid government workers and their families. It will take place from 10 o'clock this morning until 1 o'clock this afternoon.
The food bank has seen an increasing need for services in recent weeks. While it's been a bit of a struggle, they will make sure that everyone that comes by today gets food.
We're aware of the strain that's been put on federal workers, on GS workers who are without a paycheck right now, and that's not something they're used to. And so we want them to know that we're here to support them as well.
Now, in order to receive food, you will have to fill out a short application. You don't need to bring any documents, but an ID is helpful to make check-in go a little quicker. Well, the 3rd annual Counter Unmanned Aerial System, or Counter UAS Forum, will take place at the FISTA next week.
That's right. It's being hosted by the Air Defense Artillery Association. I actually had the opportunity to sit down with the executive director of the ADA Association, Greg Thomas, to learn more about the forum, including the focus and some of the key talking points that will be discussed.
This year, our main focus is trying to close the gap on the technology between now and the future. So utilizing a lot of the industry partners, the academia, the war fighters, we're bringing them all together, trying to come up with some good talking point solutions and trying to learn off of a lot of things that's going on in the world today.
Now, this is the 3rd year for this Counter UAS Forum. Can you explain why it's become such a key event for the Air Defense Artillery community?
Yeah, no, thank you. Our first year, it was a trial a couple years ago, and we had a pretty small audience, maybe about 75 to 100 people that attended. So we went from there. In the second year, we had a great turnout last year. Over 500 people showed up and attended. This year, we stretched it out to a day and a half, but just based on the feedback and information that we received last year. So we're doing it, giving them a little more this year. I don't know if we want to talk about the impact the government shutdown is going to have on it.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we didn't anticipate the shutdown, as no one did, but we are seeing a minor setback as far as attendance to this year's event.
Now, we keep hearing about the growing challenge of small unmanned aerial system. What kinds of threats are we talking about, and why is it so important to stay ahead of them?
There's a number of threats, and counter UAS, the UAS ranges from Group 1 up to Group 5, which is the small commercial UASs that you can go and purchase in a store locally that you can fly around. But then you have your larger UAS threats that can carry a payload and deliver some type of damage or do surveillance and recon, for miles away from their home base. So there's a lot of things going on, and we're learning a lot from the Ukraine-Russia war.
Sure. Now, I understand that there will be live technology demonstrations again at this year's forum. Can you explain what attendees can look forward to seeing when they come to the event this year?
Industry is bringing out some of the latest and greatest technology. We're going to have over 40 vendors there with their updated technology and products. So you're guaranteed to see something that you haven't seen before.
Beyond the military, how does this event help strengthen awareness and readiness in our broader community and at Fort Sill and beyond?
It's very important. Now, yet we're kind of focused primarily on the military community, but the civilian community can also utilize the effects and the knowledge of counter UAS. Because as you know, we all like to go to our football games on the weekend, and there's people doing surveillance on things like that. So we have to be able to protect not only our soldiers, but our community also.
For anyone that's interested in attending or getting involved, when and where is the forum? Where will it take place, and where can they go to find more information?
Well, the forum will take place October the 28th and 29th at the FISTA. We are actually, the Air Defense Association is partnering with the FISTA in this event. And the kickoff is at 8 o'clock. And if you want to know a little more information about the agenda and the speakers that's on the lineup, you can go to firsttofire.net and you can get all the information that you need. And we're also going to have on the 27th, this is our first year having a golf tournament prior to the event, where we're bringing together all the industry, and all the proceeds from that golf tournament will be used for scholarships throughout the year.
Now, we thank Greg Thomas for speaking with us yesterday about next week's forum. It's shaping up to be a pretty good event, I think. We will provide coverage, so be sure to tune in next week for a recap.
Well, Altus Air Force Base is inviting everyone to come on out and enjoy a special evening with magician Mike Super at the Base Theater this evening. Doors will open up at 5:30 and the show is set to start at about 6:30.
The event is free and family friendly, so for more information, you can check out the 97th Support Squadron's Facebook page.
Shepherd Air Force Base is inviting all witches and wizards to enjoy a magical evening at their Harry Potter themed open house.
That's right. There will be enchanting games, prizes, and food. You can also discover the many programs and resources the Youth Center offers. The open house will be tomorrow evening from 5 until 7. For more information, you can call the Madrigal Youth Center at the number on your screen.
The state of Oregon is asking federal courts to get California's National Guard out of Portland. We'll have that story and more in your national military headlines after this break.
A man charged in a deadly hit and run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
Your first alert for what's next.
We're just going to see dry conditions, mostly sunny skies.
Uncovering breaking stories that impact Texoma.
The city of Lawton's Ward 2 councilman has announced his resignation.
Checking facts and finding solutions. 7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6. Here's your first alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. Right now, clear skies in our Jackson County Memorial Hospital Tower came in Altus, so we're enjoying those mostly clear skies. Definitely on the chilly note, definitely 40s a bit more populated, especially north of the river. 46 in Duncan, 41 in Lawton, 44 in Altus, 48 in Elk City, 55 over towards Anadarko, 49 in Wichita Falls, 49 in Vernon, 48 in Paducah. The setup right now, high pressure in control, but you can see some energy over parts of California and Arizona. That is associated with our next weather maker that will gradually make its way east here over the next couple of days. So for today, though, really a tranquil day, mostly sunny skies. We'll see some clouds funnel in throughout the night, so partly cloudy. Tomorrow, we'll have a partly sunny to mostly cloudy day across the area, maybe an isolated shower during the day, but really thunderstorms begin to ramp up more as we go throughout the evening and overnight hours going into your Friday. You can see those showers moving west to east here. And then on Friday during the daytime hours, maybe not so much activity, but we could still see some scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. And then we kind of ramp things up as we make our way into the evening hours going into your Friday evening and Friday night. And then we'll still deal with more activity when it comes to showers as we go into your Saturday. Clouds kind of lingering quite a bit as we go into your Sunday. The chance of severe weather for Thursday, pretty much almost the entire region, level 1 wind and hail. And as we go into your Friday, pretty much the exception for our northern tier counties, still wind and hail the concerns as we go into your Friday. When it comes to your morning PT forecast at Fort Sill, we'll be mostly in the 40s, warming up to 50 by 9 a.m. And today we'll make our way up to 80 degrees.
Well, Ukrainian officials claim Russia is targeting civilian heating infrastructure as winter temperatures start to set in. Hundreds of thousands of people were left without power or water yesterday in northern Ukraine.
Ukraine is calling on allies to provide better air defense systems and long-range missiles, as Amy Kiley reports. That is sure to be a hot topic today as the head of NATO is set to visit President Trump and lawmakers in Washington.
A lot of things are happening on that front, on the war front with Ukraine and Russia.
President Donald Trump is promising news about the war in Ukraine soon as NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte visits Washington today. The two are meeting at the White House. The trip comes as Trump appears to be backing off plans to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in the near future.
I don't want to have a wasted meeting. I don't want to have a waste of time, so I'll see what happens.
The idea for such a bilateral talk stems from Trump and Putin's phone call last Thursday. That's the day before Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky came to the White House. He says Trump turned down his request for Tomahawk missiles capable of striking Moscow. Zelensky says of the Russians, quote, as soon as the issue of long-range capabilities for Ukraine became less immediate, their interest in diplomacy faded. Some observers agree that the battlefield and negotiating table are connected.
I do think we can change Putin's calculus, that he will realize that the price he has to pay to control Ukraine is too high.
Also today, Rutte is speaking with members of the Senate NATO Observer Group. Their chamber is considering a bipartisan bill to impose new sanctions on Russia.
It's time to provide the president with the tools that he needs so that he can negotiate this out.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Thanks, Amy. Vice President J.D. Vance is downplaying concerns about the fragility of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal during his trip to Israel this week.
That's right. Vance is in the region in part to ensure that the Israeli prime minister stays committed to the U.S. negotiated deal. The Trump administration is also there to begin work on the longer-term goals of the president's 20-point peace plan for the region.
While optimistic, Vance declined to put a timeline on the return of all Israeli hostages and Hamas's disarmament.
What we've seen the past week gives me great optimism the ceasefire is going to hold. And if we get from where we were a week ago to a long-term, durable peace between Israel and Gaza, there are going to be hills and valleys. There are going to be moments where it looks like things aren't going particularly well. But given that, and given the history of conflict, I think that everybody should be proud of where we are today. Look, right now, I feel very optimistic. Can I say with 100% certainty that it's going to work? No. But you don't do difficult things by only doing what's 100% certain. You do difficult things by trying, and that's what the President of the United States has asked us to do.
Well, the state of Oregon is asking a federal judge to get California's National Guard out of Portland. The motion comes just days after a lower court stopped the Trump administration from deploying Oregon's National Guard.
About 100 National Guard troops have already arrived in Oregon. The president says their purpose is to protect ICE agents and federal property amid what he calls violent protests.
Now, many local residents dispute that claim and say that they don't want federal help. The city of Portland joined Oregon in filing the motion. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom is planning his own lawsuit over the deployment.
But you look at a place like Portland, it's ridiculous when they say that there's no problem. The place was on fire over the weekend. But we won the case in Court of Appeals. I think it was the Ninth Circuit, so that's pretty good. and a very strong opinion that we have the right to use the National Guard. You would think that would be common sense. We have the right to use the National Guard to put out trouble.
Well, service members' pay is still in limbo as they await the end of the government shutdown coming up. How one retiree is doing her part to help keep military families afloat.
A man charged in a deadly hit and run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
Your first alert for what's next.
We're just going to see dry conditions, mostly sunny skies.
Uncovering breaking stories that impact Texoma.
The city of Lawton's Ward 2 councilman has announced his resignation.
Checking facts and finding solutions. 7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6.
Well, despite being paid last week, military families continue to live not knowing if or when they'll see another paycheck.
That's right, and it is kind of an uncertain time, right? Because next week is the next military payday. Jason Dennis has more on what organizations are doing to help keep military families afloat while lawmakers duke it out on Capitol Hill.
The anxiety, the fear, the concern. What am I going to do? How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to put gas in the car? How am I going to pay for childcare?
Those are questions coming from the 1.3 million active duty military personnel who got their paychecks last week, but not certain about getting paid a week from now if the government shutdown continues. Retired Navy Rear Admiral Don Cutler, who served for 28 years, tells Newsletter 9 a challenging military life is even more stressful with the financial unknown. She's the Chief Operations Officer for the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. Part of what they offer is money management help for military families in challenging times.
We tell them to check with their bank, see if they have a payroll protection program, and if so, enroll in that. To delay or defer any non-essential expenses.
USAA and Navy Federal Credit Union also offer 0 or low interest loans specifically during the shutdown. Regardless, service members continue serving. In a statement on Facebook, U.S. Army Garrison Commander at Fort Benning said, quote, "The Maneuver Center of Excellence will continue to train soldiers and leaders who are lethal and ready," end quote. That includes infantry and armor, airborne and ranger training. But there are staffing issues elsewhere. Civilian government workers who are furloughed without pay process a lot of those pay transactions and not just paychecks.
It's all the other entitlements like housing allowances, special pay that aren't getting started because there's no one to process those payments.
Her nonprofit, NMCRS, operates more than 200 offices worldwide.
They saw triple the number of folks calling or coming in to ask, hey, what can I do? What can you do for me?
And in the last couple of weeks, they've helped nearly 300 active duty sailors and Marines with loans of up to $2,000 each to bridge the gap during the government shutdown. For Military Matters, I'm Jason Dennis.
Thanks, Jason. The Louisiana Supreme Court is set to determine whether a state-level judge should be removed from the bench. Judge Tiffany Foxworth Roberts is accused of lying about her military rank about her rank in the military during her campaign for judge.
So in newspaper advertisements during the campaign, Foxworth Roberts allegedly claimed she was a former captain in the U.S. Army. She left the U.S. Army Reserves at the lower rank of first lieutenant.
This is a lawyer and a judge, and they're being asked a question twice. You were in the Army and you were a captain. I would think any rational person would correct them, knowing that that's untrue, and say, oh yeah, I was in the Army, I was only a lieutenant. Something to be proud of, not something to be ashamed of. Why twice did she not correct that misstatement under oath? And in fact, answering yes, comma, yes to the compound question seems to affirmatively affirm it.
Foxworth Roberts is also accused of lying on a police report. A final decision in the case is expected sometime this month.
Well, dozens of agencies in Colorado hosted an event aimed at providing help to homeless veterans in the area.
Vets were able to get a warm meal, a haircut, clothes, and resources to help them through the winter as part of the 27th annual Stand Down event. Employment assistance and housing solutions were also offered.
Now, the goal of the event was to make sure homeless veterans know that they are not alone.
We're here because homelessness is not a reflection of worth. It's a reflection of unmet need. This stand down event is more than just a day of service. It's a day of dignity, hope, and human flourishing.
The term stand down was created during World War II when military members were told to stand down for rest and recovery after prolonged combat operations.
Alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Good morning, and right now clear skies on our Ashley Home Store Tower Cam and Burke Burnett. As we look over the temperatures, really hasn't changed from what it was looked at just a couple of minutes ago. 41 still in Lawton, 46 in Duncan, 50 in Wichita Falls, 44 in Altus, 48 in Paducah, 42 in Jacksboro. High pressure in control, and we'll have that nice weather stick around today. Off towards the southwest, towards California and parts of Arizona, there's our next system that will eventually be here starting tomorrow, and more so going into your Friday across the region with a slow-moving low pressure. It's going to keep us rather unsettled throughout at least part of the weekend as well. But for today, rather quiet weather. Clouds increasing a bit throughout the day, throughout tonight and into tomorrow. We'll start introducing some rain chances tomorrow during the daytime, but really more so as we go into tomorrow night and into Friday, we'll deal with a chance for some thunderstorms across the region. And some of these do have the potential to be severe as we go throughout your Thursday and Friday. So we have a level 1 for pretty much almost the entire region tomorrow. Wind and hail the concern. Similar factors as we go throughout your Friday. And that one covers almost the entire region with the except of our northernmost counties from Elk City to Chickasha. For your morning PT forecast at Fort Sill, we're going to have those temperatures in the lower 40s before they start warming up after sunrise. As we make our way into today, we'll warm things up to 80 degrees, so a little bit warmer out there. Southwest to southerly winds to 0 to 15. We also do have an elevated fire danger this afternoon, as we'll see those winds between 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusts up to 25. As we make our way into tonight, we'll drop down to 52 degrees, partly cloudy and milder across the area. And over the next 7 days, we're going to keep things just rather unsettled here, as we'll see those temperatures for the most part in the 80s and 70s.
Well, thanks for watching Good Morning Fort Sill.